Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Game Changers podcast. My name is Quintagis, and it's a privilege and pleasure to be here with you as usual. My next guest is a young lady who has a dynamic singing range. But not just a dynamic singing range, but she's a dynamic personality as well. She's such an amazing voice, and I can't wait to showcase her talent to you. Not just her singing, but her personality as well. Here is Lili Octave. Hello, Lili. How are you?
I'm good in you. I'm good in you, Quinn.
I'm fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Like I said, even better that you actually here with me now.
I love it. Same here. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, for my audience who might not know you, tell my audience exactly who Lily Octave is from her own perspective.
Yes, so Lily Octave is four octave vocal range singer, a Caribbean neo soul singer actually from the beautiful nature island of the Caribbean, Dominica. And I mean, there's so much to Lily Octave with her vocal range, the kind of music that she does, that I do. You're speaking in a different person. I sing R&B, jazz, neo soul, pop, and they call me the Caribbean neo soul queen because I infuse Caribbean elements into my music. So, and there's really not much people in the Caribbean doing what I do. So, hence the name. And I've been doing this from as long as I can remember, since I was four.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to that 4-year-old Lily.
Ah.
I was told that you did a rendition of "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston or Dolly Parton,
Yes, sir.
depending on who you speak about. How much do you
Yes.
remember of that?
I don't remember anything at all. Interestingly, the only evidence that I have of it is somewhere under my dad's bed, at his home on a video
Okay.
cassette. So that's he recorded that. We were at a church event, and I it was playing on the TV, and I just started to sing out, and everybody was flabbergasted. He just decided he was going to record it, and that's the only evidence that I really have of it. I don't remember the exact moment at all, but yeah, it was. It actually according to him, was the first event, the first time they actually saw me do that, and with the amount of people that were there, he didn't really expect me to have been so confident. So
Hmm.
that was the first time.
Beautiful. So you're
Yes.
literally doing this since you were a baby, basically.
Yeah, you could say so. I can't vouch for the womb,
All right.
but yes.
Hmm. Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you have roots in Dominica, Barbados, and Montserrat.
Yes,
So
sir.
you are a
I
true
do.
Caribbean woman.
For sure.
How do you infuse those styles in your music?
Okay, so interestingly, I grew up with a lot of American style music. We grew up Seventh Day Adventists, so listening to a lot of the Caribbean music was not something that was very popular in our home.
Hmm.
I actually started listening a couple years ago, like around 4 or 5 years ago, to a lot of well, soca, reggae, and so on. It's things
Hmm.
that we would have heard on radio and TV, but actually listening and studying the music, that started like around 4 or 5 years ago, and I fell in love with the kadas, and which is our local music. The kadas, the zouk, compa. We have some Haitian compa elements and so on that we carry in the music as well. And so even some reggaeton in some of the songs as well. So we in doing the music, at a certain point I just decided I was going to fuse some of those elements into the music, into the sound, and that's kind of birthed something in and of its own, because I carried the name Caribbean Neo Soul Queen because there was people felt that there was nobody else in the Caribbean who could do what I was doing at the time. But when we infused the elements into the music, it became a genre of its own, which was Caribbean neo soul. So that's uh, that's how it all came about. So when you listen to the songs that I've done, even some of the remixes, there's some reggaeton, there's some zouk, kadas elements in there.
Caught that glimpse from behind. Ooh, think I got lost in the groove. How do I now begin to such a king? Everything just can be the same.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes, sir.
So, for somebody who doesn't understand music to the level that you understand it, can you explain how you actually infuse those sounds together, or at least do your best
Okay.
to?
Yes, sure. Neo soul, the vocals play a huge part. How you sing plays a huge part in the delivery of the song, right? And live instrumentation, which is already very close to how we make music in the Caribbean, right? Is with the live instruments. So we adding the elements was not really difficult. With it's so we try to the drum patterns is something that's very heavy in the music that lends to it being identified with the kadas, with the compa, and then we have the piano that does certain sounds, certain tones that we would usually use in our local music in the region as well. And of course, the bass line. I'm a huge bass fan. I love a lot of bass in my songs, and I'm sure anybody will recognize that when they listen to the music. So sometimes we will have a very straight beat. It's neo soul or funk, but the bass line keeps a reggae tone, and that's how we infuse it. So it might not be everything all at once, although there are songs that are like that of mine. But for the neo soul aspect, there are some of the songs that we just the bass line would bring in an element, or just the drums.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So let's go back a little bit. In the very beginning of your career, um, when did you know that you could have taken this on as a full time gig, as something very serious?
Okay, so that was actually when I met my manager, Mr. Lindsay George, because I did music before, but it was more like just gigging, doing a gig,
Okay.
and not as serious. Um, I wanted to do a lot more, but I didn't know exactly what I had to do. And there were not a lot of
Right.
people with that knowledge around. So when I met my manager, and he's also my vocal coach, by the way. He
Wow.
kind of, yeah, we started off with the vocal coaching, and then we went into actually doing the music, like creation and so on, because I
Mm-hmm.
used to write before, and then registration and all these processes that comes with the territory. So that's when I knew that I could do it seriously. I felt like I had a team, because there's also the Y2 Music team that that manages me. So I have an entourage of people who know what they're doing, and I feel like I can go anywhere with them.
Beautiful. Sometimes we, as fans, as people who listen, might not be able to tell how much collaboration happens behind the scenes to put together a project like that.
Yep, a lot of work.
Absolutely.
A lot of work, a lot of
I can
planning
imagine.
before, during, and after. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Now I know that while singing might be the most prominent thing that you do, you are so much more than that. You do so many other things. I know you're into modeling, you're a massage therapist, and you have all these diverse talents. So how do you balance all those talents with maybe the main thing that is singing? Or you can tell me if it is the main thing or not.
Yes, the main thing is definitely my music. It's keeping me busy. How I balance everything is I have a very tight schedule, and I have so the massages, it's actually it's scheduled. So there's set times, and there's a website that helps me do that. So, and that's all through the Lily Octave website actually. So we have the booking site, and for so in between, what I would do is when a client would book for massages, I already know what's on for my schedule, so I can fit everything
Got
in
you.
around that. Yeah. So, and music, it's any time of the day, anyway. I know I have a client in like the next 30 minutes, and music goes on. I have something comes to my mind. I have a tune for a song, and I just record it on the phone until I can get back to it and continue my process. But that's how it
Right.
happens. Everything is scheduled.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that, the process of writing songs as well. What
Ah,
sort of things do you draw inspiration from?
my life experiences. I
Okay.
find it difficult to write songs that I cannot relate to.
Hmm.
Although it's a bunch of storytelling, and I have written songs for others where it's just imagination, raw imagination. Just this is something that could have happened. It's sad, it's lively and it's inspiring, but for me, most times, my life experiences. At least that's what I put into my personal music.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you tell your story through your music. That's what I'm
Yes,
understanding.
that's right.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. And these are the songs that people can really relate to because, sometimes even if they might not actually have that experience themselves, authenticity sells. People
Yes.
who believe that, okay, this thing is real. It's coming from a real place. It's coming from somebody who understands life and is going through an experience. And even if I can't relate with that experience, maybe not now, maybe I know somebody else who has gone through that experience. So I
Right.
really like the fact that you take, the reality of life and utilize it in the art, because often art imitates life.
True. True. Very true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a reflection of
Absolutely.
of of things that have happened. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So we're moving on to a segment of the podcast that I really like. It's called the Quick Hitters. Now, the Quick Hitters is a segment with rapid fire questions.
Woo!
Yes. So
Okay.
as rapid, as quick as you can, as quick as you can answer. I will not judge you if you take extra time. I will not put you to a timer. But let's see how well you can do, how quick you can do. All
No
right.
problem.
All right. Let's go. So
Okay.
first quick hitter question: when you're not creating music or modeling or doing the 10,000 other things that you do,
Oh my,
how do
you're
you
breaking up a
unwind
bit.
or reconnect with yourself?
I was saying that I love nature and I love long walks, and that's for me how I reconnect. Also, spending time with my daughter. That's how what helps me unwind. Yeah. So apart from the busy day, that anytime that I get to spend, even with my plants, I'm a plant lover. Yeah. That's what helps me to. reconnect.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, give me three words that describe your music.
Inspiring, um, positive, motivational, and yeah, these.
So that's three. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
inspiring, motivational, and what was the other one again?
positive.
Positive. All right. So yes, I like that a lot, and I could tell. I mean, just from the type of individual you are, obviously the music will be just like you. So
Yes, for
I could
sure.
tell. Final question. So final rapid fire question. Who would you like to see on this podcast?
Ha! Well, I know there's Dukes.
Okay.
I've not seen him on theirs yet, but I don't know if he has been. But
Right. Right. So he has been here,
ah,
but I need to do a solo. I need to do a solo episode with him. It's very soon. So yes, definitely, I will get him on here for
yes,
sure.
sir. Yeah,
For sure. For sure. So Dubs, she called you out, bro.
that's
You have to
it.
come. You have to come. She
Yep.
called you out. So
And Mecca,
yeah,
Dukes and
definitely.
Mecca. Yep.
Absolutely. Mecca definitely needs to be here. Mecca has never been here, but
Ha!
he definitely needs to be here. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tag your rich.
All right. All right. So we're quickly moving on to the back end of the interview. Um, what message or emotions do you hope that your listeners take away from your music when they listen to it?
Definitely that overcoming motivation, inspirational aspect of it. That is what I hope that a lot of the listeners take away from it, because there's some songs that if you listen from the first time, it might come off as angry and probably bitter, but then when you get
Mm-hmm.
to the end, you realize it is not harboring these emotions. It's a
Got
matter
you.
of I'm going to do something positive about it. It's not just having it or feeling it. It's what you do about it. So I hope that they really take that part away from the music and find ways to keep inspiring yourself, keep growing, keep making yourself happy, feeling on top of the world. That's one of the songs that I've written. Glory is another one. This is all, just looking deep within and bringing out everything positive that there is about you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you want them to truly embrace the positivity that your music
That's it.
really brings out, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think, the world will be a better place if more of us at least have that approach to life. Everything will
True.
not be perfect, everything will not be nice. But if we
Yes.
do have that approach to taking care of things, then I think the world will definitely be a better place.
Yes. It sure would.
Now, speaking about, the challenges faced, I know that you would have had challenges navigating the music industry and trying to stay authentic to your roots, your Caribbean roots, not just your Caribbean roots, but your beliefs and all those things. What are some of the challenges that you have faced and how did you navigate through them?
Well, the challenges that I had faced really were opportunity. This was
Mm,
one of the biggest challenges that I've faced, because the type of music that I do, yes, it's true that eventually we added Caribbean elements in there, but opportunities for neo soul and jazz in the Caribbean is not as um, it's not a lot, compared
right.
to bouillon and soca
Mm-hmm.
and reggae. So this was the biggest issue, but overcoming was definitely what we did, which was actually infusing the music elements in there. So now they get something that is authentic, which is the neo soul, with something that they're familiar with. And that opened some avenues to be able to be a little more flexible and to get a little more. leeway with events and so on. Of course, we're really aiming for St. Lucia Jazz, just throwing that in there, but you know,
Yes, yes, yes. 100%,
yeah.
100%. Can't wait to see you here.
Yeah, and jazz and Creole here, but we did that recently this year. That was I'm grateful to DFC for giving me because this is the biggest platform that we have in Dominica for what I do, and I'm grateful for them
Right.
doing that. And that also led to some of the events happening where we could actually use the music there. And of course, overseas, there's a lot of opportunity overseas, and we've traveled a lot this year to Switzerland, Algeria. Um, we did Beckway when we were in Manchester and Liverpool. So it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's there's a lot of opportunities overseas now happening, and we're trying to bring those connections that we've made worldwide to the region and from the region back out. So we're trying to represent both ways. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. As you should. As you should. We need to, and I guess with the type of music that you do, it's the best of both worlds. So it's bringing the international to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But when you outside of the Caribbean, you perform outside of the Caribbean, it has that Caribbean feel and that Caribbean vibe and that
Yes.
Caribbean, sound that the outside world craves because the outside world really craves Caribbean music. Whether
Yes.
it be reggae, soca, dancehall, it doesn't matter what Caribbean music, they really, really crave it. So that
True.
balance, I think, is very, very unique, and I love really, I really, really love that element about your music. I do.
Thank you. Yeah, because
It's
you're
beautiful.
saying that, and it reminds me of something that someone in Switzerland, back at Switzerland, said because I did perform there for the ITC's 60th anniversary at the
Hmm.
World Trade Organization, and they said that that was the first time they saw people dance, like really dance up in there. Yeah, we did a Kada's version of Bob Marley's "Baby Don't Worry" and Three Little Birds.
Ah.
So it was very interesting. They never heard it like that before, and they were dancing up in there. So yeah, they really do love our music. They want it so.
Connected and invested in you. I'll stay with you. What you're holding inside, just give me your hand. I'll stay with you for the ride. I'll stay with you. We'll grow together and rise with each other.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that for you, and I only hope that it gets bigger and better from here, for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so when it's all said and done, when you finally hang up your boots and when your career does come to an end, what would the legacy what would your legacy? I'll take that again.
Yes.
So when it's all said and done, and you come to the end of the career, you're chilling on a yacht somewhere, you have retired, it's all over. What would you want your legacy to be?
My legacy, really, I would want people to remember me for having having brought more elements or the genres of Caribbean music that were not widely known to the entire world in a different way. I think that Barbados has a Rihanna, and Trinidad has a Nicki Minaj, and Jamaica has like everybody. But Dominica, yeah, Dominica has not had. Dominica has a Lili Octave, so that's what I want to. I really want them to see
Damn
that.
right it
What?
does.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the effect that I would like to have, and for everybody to remember the music that I've made, which I hope will be timeless. I hope that people would
Absolutely.
enjoy it for years and years and years to come. That's the legacy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and I guess, well, with the elements that you utilize, just the Caribbean vibe and the international vibe, but also what you speak about in your music, because I think that I mean, as much as I do like instrumentals, as somebody who observes and loves music, the message often comes in the words and
True.
what you are saying, what you are trying to portray, and what you are trying to keep with the audience. And just, the messages that you do portray can have a lasting legacy because,
Yes.
it being positive will be a necessity regardless of what time in history we existed. It could be
I like
now,
how you put
it
it.
was, it was so in the past,
Yes.
it's so now, and it will be so in the future. So
Yes.
that timelessness, like you said, that longevity, I can definitely see it, being seen in your music for years to come.
Thank you. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much. I received that.
Absolutely. All right. If you could give a piece of advice to young aspiring Caribbean artists, what would it be?
It would be don't get distracted by the hype.
Okay.
And don't, because there seems to be there is a stigma that you have to make
Mm-hmm.
music a certain way for you to be accepted. And
Mm,
I want our original artists to think outside of the box and not follow the norm for the region,
right.
because I'm everything has a time, and I want us to diversify the amount of the way we make music. So there's a time for sexy. I have some sexy songs. There's a time
Mm.
for the aggressive, but
Mm-hmm.
let's think outside the box, and we have some clean songs, have some, you can mix it up, because there are people out there who are really looking to invest in artists who can appeal to different audiences, and who can
Mm-hmm.
perform in higher paying gigs, opportunities, events. But the music has to be a certain way, and so I want them to, you know, believe in yourself and the creativity that you have, and also, you know, diversify your song. Don't be afraid to speak on different topics. It don't have to be the same, you know. Don't have to be sex all the time. It can You can make it. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. You must switch it up, and it must show your versatility. Because like I said, Caribbean people are so many more things. We are not just
Yep.
one genre of music, one sound, one vibe, one kind of consciousness, but we are so much more than that. And I think different people bring different elements to different things, and we
True.
must truly embrace who we are as Caribbean people. And if we do that, then I think not just the music will be better, but our whole Caribbean culture and our whole point of view of life, I guess, will be better.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Absolutely. Final question before we come to an end. What is next for Lily Octave? Okay, well, two questions. What is next for Lily Octave? And secondly, where can we get your music?
No problem. Okay, so what is next for Lily Octave is a lot more music, that's for sure. We have Jazz and Dine, which is a Lily Octave event, and so Lily Octave and Y2 Music event on
Mm-hmm.
April 6th. That's going to be next year. This is the second edition of Jazz and Dine. And at every Jazz and
Mm-hmm.
Dine event, we bring original music, an album, a live album comes from it. So we can expect another live album. Of course, we'll be working on studio recordings as well, studio albums. But a lot more traveling. So we'll never know. Lily Octave might be coming to somewhere near you. Yes. And my music can be found on all platforms. That's iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, um, just name it. Deezer, and anywhere. It's all over. YouTube and all. Just name it. It's there.
So wherever you stream music, you can get Lily Octave,
That's
right?
right. That's correct.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Lilianto, thank you so much for coming on to this podcast. I really enjoyed our conversation. It really inspired me in my own way, but
Thank
I hope that
you.
you also enjoyed it and had a great time here.
I did. I did. This was actually very nice. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. You're awesome. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. Okay, guys, so this has been yet another Game Changers episode. And to thank you for coming on to listen, remember to like and subscribe. Game Changers is wherever you get your podcast. Same way Lily's music is wherever you can get music. Game Changers is everywhere you can get podcasts. So remember to like and subscribe and follow and also download the episodes so you can listen on the go.
That's
Anyhow,
right.
this has been yet another episode and to thank you for coming on. And until next time, stay hungry and I'll see you then.